It's time once again for That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ, where business becomes show business. Jamie is a leading Tampa Bay real estate agent and featured on the Wall Street Journal's list of top 100 real estate agents in the nation. Jamie invites you to list your home with him today and learn more at tampabayradio.com. Now, live in studio and promoting the entrepreneurial spirit that drives the American economy, your host, Jamie Maloney.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday, and thanks for checking in to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. And, I start each morning at 8 a.m. here on 1250 Wins WHNZ. And April 25th, we're going to be starting each morning at 7 o'clock in the morning as the show moves to 2 hours a day. And as I've been promoting for the last couple weeks, got some new sponsor packages available and different ways to get involved with the program. So if you'd like to get involved, please get in touch with me, Jamie at Tampa Bay Radio, or just use my contact form over at tampabayradio.com as well. Joined in studio here by my streaming producer, Josh Vaz at Tampa Bay Multimedia. Josh, good morning to you. What's going on this morning?
Not much. What's going on with you, man?
Hey, just getting out to vote. I'm a little bit off kilter this morning. My voting location is up in Lutz. I'm down here on Gandy, and I got meetings all day, so it's going to be a little bit tough. I'm meant to make a special trip up there, but remember to get out to vote today.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty much the same with me, man. I'm here in iHeart all day. I got to race back to Newport
You up in
Richie
Newport Richie?
Yeah,
I know, and I couldn't.
It's like an hour drive, too.
Yeah, and I leave my home at 6 o'clock, but the polls open from
Who are you voting for?
I ain't going to put that out there. You know that, man. I got to keep all that stuff secret, man. I don't do no political talk on here. I'm voting for myself. I'm writing in my own name, man.
I'm voting for the Pope.
That's been my trick for years. I've been writing in my own name, man. So I get in a vote. So,
well, you got to build a following somehow.
Yeah, exactly. I can always say I got to vote for president. So, but yeah, polls open from 7 o'clock to 7 p.m. So just a reminder to get out to vote. Very important that we all contribute to our political system, no matter what your opinion is. Everybody's vote counts. So please get out there and vote. It's also TBBO Tuesdays, weekly feature brought to us by the Tampa Bay Business Owners Organization. You can learn more about them and their many events. And it looks like I'm speaking with Katie this morning. Katie, good morning to you.
Good morning, Jamie. TBBO Tuesday. Whoop, whoop.
This is Katie Kermitzos, the wife and co-founder of Chris Kermitzos, who usually joins me each and every Tuesday. But Katie is a great supporter of the program, too. Katie, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. I've officially had my morning coffee with my daughter. Life is good.
Yes, and you getting ready. Tonight you have the Success Safari, one of the many events that goes on with the Tampa Bay Business Owners each month. Tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah, so our Success Safaris are a whole series that we do every other month that allows us to bring our members and those who are interested in to see the behind the scenes of how a local business works. And so today we get to go to the Lowry Park Zoo, which is really a Tampa favorite, although this is a whole unique spin on it. They're showing us exactly how the operation of their business works. It's a phenomenal story. You would be amazed. If you've been to the zoo even dozens and dozens of times as a visitor, this will definitely offer something new on how to see the zoo as a business itself that's really thriving here in the Tampa area.
Very cool. And this is just one of the many events that you do each and every month in addition to the main event and power lunches and just a great organization. And people can learn about this over at tbbo.org. This is the premier business. It's not really, I wouldn't call it a networking group, but a business support peer-to-peer group. Would you not say?
Yep, exactly. The whole peer mentoring, peer collaboration. If you want to be better at being the CEO and owner of your company, that's when you come to us to be around other like minds and people who are also leading their companies.
Does this include kids?
Say that again?
Does this include kids?
Are kids welcome to the events?
Actually, yeah. We do. A lot of our Success Safaris, we actually do open up to a lot of our members' kids, people who want to come along. So absolutely, today is definitely open to kids.
Sweet.
So,
that means I can probably go.
Yeah.
Yeah, see? There you go.
Now, one of the things we talk about on Tuesday a lot of times is podcasting. Chris is a big supporter of the podcasting movement. A lot of stuff going on in the Tampa Bay region. Katie, you are the host of Biz Women Rock, a podcast similar to what I do, where I talk to different professionals each morning. You talk to different professional women. Tell us a little bit about your podcast.
Yeah, so Biz Women Rock actually just celebrated 2 years being in existence last month, which is pretty awesome. And for 2 years, I've interviewed just really phenomenal women who have sort of gone through the gauntlet of entrepreneurialism about their stories. And so they get a chance to tell, the kind of the ups, downs, all the good stuff, all the tools that they use, resources that they found, how they've, grown their companies. And I've been able to share that with women who are listening all over the world, which has been pretty awesome.
Now, where can people find your podcast? Is this strictly available on iTunes? Because a lot of people are still new to this whole podcasting business, and there's just such great material out there for people to listen to. But how can people find the podcast?
So the easiest, if you are an iTunes user, the easiest thing to do is to go onto your phone and just go listen to it in the podcast app, which you can find in the iTunes app. But if you're a little unfamiliar with that, you can just go to bizwomenrock.com, and all of my podcast episodes are there and available to listen to on the website, whether it's on your phone or your desktop. And it's right under the interviews with the experts tab. But you can absolutely go listen there.
There we go. We threw it up on the live stream there. So if you're watching at home, you can see that. If you're listening, keep in mind we do stream all shows here live in studio. Katie, tell the audience, as a professional, what has podcasting done for your business?
Oh, man. How long do we have? Podcasting, in a very, very brief statement, is one of the most powerful ways to build a brand out of nothing. I literally did not have anything in existence before Biz Women Rock, the podcast, started. And it has helped to build an entire brand of known resources and education and collaboration that is now synonymous with Biz Women Rock all throughout the globe for women. And, if people have an existing business already, it's a really great way to extend your knowledge to people, to be able to broaden your reach, to be able to connect with people who are interested in hearing what you have to say. It's just, I'm a huge believer in it, obviously.
And how much time does this take each week to produce, to find your guest? What's your time involvement, and what's any financial involvement as well?
Oh, great question. The time varies depending on how often you're producing. When I started, I was producing 3 shows a week, so that obviously took a heck of a lot more time. Right now, I've pared down to once a week since the end of last year. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've logged hours, but I would say anywhere from 5 to 15 hours a week, just depending on what you're putting into it. Because, of course, you have to talk about the marketing. Once you actually do the show, put the show up, then you're talking about the marketing and making sure people know about the show, making sure that you're going out there and sort of extending yourself as a piece of the show, that you're connecting with other podcasters, connecting with other folks. So there's a lot of time involved in it in that space. If you wanted it to be as minimal as possible, there are people who, let's say that they're doing an interview like you do here, Jamie, and then they have somebody else take care of the rest, the whole production of it, so they're not really looking at it or touching it after they actually do the interview. So you save a lot of time there. And the cost of it really is, it can be incredibly minimal, to be honest with you. You're talking about the bare minimum for equipment you can get for, $100. A lot of computers already have software on them to be able to record. And then you're just talking about dollars for marketing, dollars for websites, all that sort of stuff. So truthfully, it can be pretty minimal to actually pretty big, just depending on what type of budget you have and what you have to work with.
Now, how do you find your guests for Biz Women Rock? There are many professional women that have been through my program, many that are listening as well. I'm sure they would love an opportunity to speak with you. How can they make application to get on Biz Women Rock?
Yeah, they can actually email me directly at Katie, Katie, at bizwomenrock.com. And usually what I do is, I really love searching out women who have a great story to tell. So I tend to get women who have been in business for quite some time and have kind of, again, like I had said, sort of run the gauntlet of business, because those are typically the ones that have a lot of lessons to share. They've fallen on their butts a few times.
Right.
And so they can speak pretty intelligently about what business really is, whether it's been really great stuff or challenging stuff or what have you. So, but I really love seeking out all different types of industries, all different types of stories. And I'm actually starting next week, putting a little bit more different types of shows into the mix. So in addition to these interviews, there will be, I'm starting a whole series next week that will be a few weeks worth of how to build a community. So it's really just going to be me talking about, the steps that it takes to build a community, and then that will pair into different series of, that are very topic driven. These are things that my community, my listeners have told me that they're very interested in hearing. So So it's now kind of getting into a mix of a lot of different topics that can help women along their journeys in business.
Well, podcasting is an excellent tool to, reach your base and grow your business. Plus, you and Chris have the Florida Podcasters Association meetup group that meets once a month. An excellent resource for people that are starting out or people that are even dabbling in this already. Tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah, so once we started the Biz Women Rock podcast 2 years ago, we both fell in love with the podcasting industry, the podcasting space as a whole. And my husband, whose true passion in life and calling is really building community. Both of us really do it in our different respects, and obviously come together with Tampa Bay business owners to be able to do that. But that's just sort of his natural thing. Is like once he discovers something that he loves, he discovers that there are other people who love it. His gift is really bringing everyone together. So he started the Florida Podcasters Association last year. You can find out more information if you go onto Facebook, go look up Florida Podcasters Association. We meet once a month. It's comebacks to come. It's a whole education session once we're there. And most importantly, it's a great chance to meet with other podcasters who are either just thinking about podcasting and haven't quite started yet, or have been podcasting for a decade. So it's a great mix of people. It's the second Tuesday of every month at McAllister's Deli in the West Shore area. So we'd love to see you guys there if you're interested.
All right. Great information. And Katie, as always, I appreciate you and Chris supporting the show each and every TBBO Tuesdays. We'll talk again soon.
Absolutely, Jamie. Thank you for everything that you do. Woo!
Thanks, Katie. And again, Katie Kermitzos, CEO and co-founder of the Tampa Bay Business Owners. Learn more about them and their many events, tbbo.org. Coming back from the break, I got Shawn Yesner, attorney with his own firm, Yesner Law, in studio. So we'll be talking about foreclosure defense, maybe a little bankruptcy. Who knows which way the conversation is going to go. He's going to be with me for the rest of the show. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Hi, my name is Jamie Maloney. I'm the host of That Business Show, a radio show that works with business professionals to get them on air. Starting April 25th, That Business Show is expanding to air 2 hours a day from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. and will work with a select group of business professionals to enhance their community exposure, branding, and credibility. That Business Show's branding package offers businesses and organizations a cost-effective package which includes regular on-air appearances, followed up with an edited video of the appearance and press release, along with daily audio and video commercials, social media management and development, monthly networking event, professional photography, and much more. Only a 3-month commitment is required, and you will have a lifetime of benefits, including a collection of videos that will not only save you time answering the same questions over and over again, but will also enhance the SEO of your website. In addition, you will become part of a network of professionals with the ability to request introductions to any of the guests that come through this program. I only have a limited number of packages available to sell, so act now. Call me today at 813-760-8516 or email me, jamie@tampabayradio.com, to get on board today. Again, that's 813-760-8516 or jamie@tampabayradio.com. Tampa Bay weather is a roof killer. That's why when getting your roof done, you want it done right. Hi, I'm Jamie Maloney of That Business Show. When considering a new roof or repair, talk to Westfall Roofing. They've been installing high-quality roofs in Tampa Bay for over 25 years. Get a free, no-obligation estimate by calling 855-99-ROOFING. That's 855-99-ROOFING. Find out what already 15,000 satisfied customers already know. Call now, 855-99-ROOFING. In an age when the good and the better vie for attention, it is the best that stands out. The best of Tampa Bay from Proudly Florida is the love story for the city of Tampa, celebrating success, sharing achievements, a tribute to enterprise and community spirit. Let Proudly Florida showcase your business to your city, your nation, and the world. For more information, email info@proudlyflorida.com and be sure to visit proudlyflorida.com.
Have you ever tried to buy a home for your family only to find out that you don't qualify for a mortgage loan? You thought that after 20 years as a customer of your bank, they would help you when you needed it the most, right? Unfortunately, the banks of today are not the banks of our parents and grandparents, and our relationships with them just don't matter anymore. My name is Frank Cotto, and I'm the president of the Lincoln Lending Group. We all may need a bank, but we also need a Frank, and that's what I'm here to do for you today. Lincoln Lending Group will waive all of your lending fees, which include your mortgage, application fee, your underwriting fee, processing fees, and any bank points. Just call 813-MORTGAGE. You drop the E, and we'll drop the fee.
Teresa Turner is a certified public accountant and the founder of Tax Happens, a boutique-style CPA firm providing small businesses and individuals with hands-on, personalized tax and accounting services. Although we would love to tell you how happy their clients are, we would like you to see for yourself. Tax Happens has 21 Google reviews and a 4.8-star Google rating, 17 Yelp reviews, and a 5-star Yelp rating, 38 Facebook reviews, and a 4.9-star Facebook rating. What sets Tax Happens apart is number 1, upfront pricing, 2, clear deadlines, 3, personally available year-round, and number 4, a willingness to empower clients to do as much or as little as they desire. Visit taxhappens.com for more information.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com.
If you've been following That Business Show on Facebook and Twitter, you may have noticed the quality of some of our images. That's because one of our sponsors is pro photographer Rick Taseda, a member of the Professional Photographers of America. You can view his extensive work by going to his website at ricktaseda.com or call him for an appointment to chat about your photography needs at 813-641-4757. That's 813-641-4757. Rick Taseda Visuals. Call him for your next event or project.
From the Bright House Networks Traffic Center.
Dense fog has the Skyway Bridge closed in both directions. That's adding to problems in Tampa as we're seeing a lot of additional traffic on the east-west roadways like the Selma Crosstown I-4, I-275. Also Gandy Boulevard, also seeing additional traffic in northbound I-75 through Brandon as well. Near the Crosstown, it is very slow. Southbound Veterans Expressway, it's jammed from Hillsborough Avenue to 275. Crashed near there. See traffic problems. Call the injury firm of Abrahamson Uterick. Hillsborough traffic tip line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Unbound. There's a girl in El Salvador who dreams of becoming an engineer. There's an elder in Uganda who dreams of having a community to call his own. No two dreams are the same. Help one person achieve theirs at unbound.org.
Today, patchy fog early, then a mix of sun and clouds, high 82. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 66. Tomorrow, fog early, high 81.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
And welcome back to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Every weekday morning at 8 a.m. And starting April 25th, it's going to be every weekday morning starting at 7 a.m. And learn more about the show over at TampaBayRadio.com. Also, it's TBBO Tuesdays, weekly feature brought to us by the Tampa Bay Business Owners Organization, and you can learn more about them, tbbo.org. Time to bring in my guest for the program. I have Shawn Yesner, attorney and owner of his firm, Yesner Law, and you can learn more about him over at YesnerLaw.com. Shawn, welcome to the program this fine morning.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate the invitation.
Absolutely. First off, give me a quick background of the firm. What does your firm specialize in?
Quick background. So my firm does a lot of real estate law, a lot of consumer law. So what that puts me in is the area of foreclosures, bankruptcies, short sales, loan modifications. But as the firm has evolved, we've become more involved in real estate litigation. Real estate litigation meaning partition lawsuits where people are fighting over who's going to get ownership of the house. Maybe mom dies and brother and sister inherit it, and one wants to keep it, one wants to sell it, and they can't agree.
Okay.
That becomes a partition. We split the baby, in essence.
Gotcha.
Quiet title lawsuits, who owns property, tax sales. I've got 2 cases right now, fence disputes between neighbors, title issues, those types of things. So I do a lot of the consumers, the foreclosures, bankruptcy, short sales, but the firm is more evolving to real estate litigation, people fighting over real property. I call myself a dirt lawyer.
What's your history of your firm? Have you always been involved with real estate-related topics?
I have since the day I started. You know, it's interesting. I went to law school with an accounting background, so I thought I'm going to be a tax attorney. That would be kind of cool to be a tax attorney. My dad's a CPA, so get involved in that area. Then I took my first trial advocacy class and fell in love with arguing with people.
Right.
And so said, I'm going to be a trial attorney. That's really what I want to do. I graduated law school, found a job at a firm in Miami, as a matter of fact, that did real estate law. And so here I am. 16 years later doing real estate law.
No, congratulations on the continued success in the real estate law business. And one of the areas that you do some practice in is foreclosure defense. And you've worked both sides of the spectrum, from the plaintiff and the defendant. So you started out as a plaintiff's defendant, right? The banks.
Correct. I started out representing banks, taking people's houses away. And it was a fascinating area of law for me because it wrapped in all the real estate that I had built my career on at the very beginning, and it wrapped in the litigation that I wanted to do after going to law school. And it also gave me experience doing appellate work. I've got a couple of reported appellate decisions that are out there. It gave me experience doing eviction work, doing title work, kept me involved in doing closing. So it ran the whole gamut. So from 2001 to 2004, I worked for what most people would call a foreclosure mill, a foreclosure law firm, representing banks. We represented Chase. We represented Freddie Mac. We represented the VA. We represented a lot of the subprime lenders. And that really gave me my experience and my background in the foreclosure world. And when that firm decided no longer to do foreclosures, the owner of that firm decided she wanted to take the firm in a different direction. That's when I decided to put up my own shingle. And I figured, I know how to do them really quick. Let me see if I can slow them down.
Now, the foreclosure defense or the foreclosure industry was turned on its head in 2010 when the whole robo-signing mess came through. Were you working on the plaintiff side at that point?
No, I was working mostly on the defendant side. And actually, I still do. I still handle a handful of foreclosures for the plaintiff side, but mostly it's private investors that have notes and mortgages that they're not being paid anymore. I haven't represented a bank since 2004. So I went off on my own in 2004, right when the market was starting to really take off. And then 2006, we hit our peak and started coming down. And I've been mostly, I would say 90 to 95% of my practice has been on the debtor side, on the borrower side, on the homeowner side since 2004.
Now, I use the term robo-signing, and I might have...
I was about to ask, what is that?
I might have left some people behind. So briefly, tell people what I mean when I say robo-signing.
Yeah, so what robo-signing refers to, the bank has to produce evidence to the court whenever it wants to get a foreclosure judgment. And so it mostly produces that evidence in the form of affidavits. What robo-signing means is that the people that are signing those affidavits or the people that are notarizing those affidavits on behalf of the bank aren't paying attention to what they're doing. So there was some evidence brought out in different trials, none that I was involved in, but there was some evidence brought out in different trials that it was physically impossible for these people on the bank side to be signing these affidavits in the quantity and in with the speed that they were doing it. It would literally be somebody working a 10-hour day with no bathroom breaks, with no lunch breaks, with nothing, signing literally hundreds of affidavits. It was physically impossible for them to sign as many as they were, which made it an evidentiary issue. So that's really what robo-signing gets to the heart of, is the bank's evidence to prove that the borrower fell behind.
Yeah, and prior to 2010, and I've been selling foreclosures as a real estate agent since 2007, there was like 3 law firms that controlled like the majority of the business. Right. And the big firm down in Miami, which was David Stern's office, he was controlling 40 to 50% of the foreclosure business. And when the robo-signing mess hit the news, his office became ground zero, and he took the brunt of it and knocked him out of business. And I think they're chasing him down for criminal charges now, aren't they?
Yeah, I think either the federal or state governments, or maybe even both, are after him. I know the Florida Bar is after him. I think his license to practice has been suspended by the Florida Bar. And there's still some fallout today. I still keep in touch with a lot of the plaintiff firms, a lot of my opposing counsel, because it's good to have those connections when I'm trying to work out something on behalf of one of my clients. And they're still dealing, right now, 2016, still dealing with some of those old David Stern files transferring over to their office. There's still a handful of foreclosures from 10, 11, 12 that are still hanging on because they were filed by David Stern's office.
And what that did is that introduced many different foreclosure firms into the marketplace that were then at that time inexperienced. Now, this has been several years since that happening, but when people say that the foreclosures are a mess and this is wrong and that's wrong, I mean, that's a spinoff of that event right there, isn't it not?
Yeah. I mean, so when I was doing this, Freddie Mac only had 3 or 4 designated counsel, and then that contracted. And then that expanded, and then now I think that's contracting again, where there's a lot fewer firms in the area doing foreclosure work. They're all starting to combine and merge, and and all this other stuff.
Now you saved now you also do defense work, and you recently saved a homeowner $190,000 in liability against their mortgage. I want to hear that story when we come back from the break. And again, currently here in studio with Shawn Yesner, attorney at law and owner of his firm Yesner Law, and you can learn more about him YesnerLaw.com. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.
Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring-type products, hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
Houses. Do you own a house that is trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junky houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 813-280-1888. That's 813-280-1888.
Skyway Bridge remains closed in both directions due to dense fog. We're seeing additional traffic now on westbound I-4, jam from I-75 to 275 in downtown Tampa. 275 jam southbound from the downtown junction out to Memorial Highway. Northbound, there's a crash just past Ashley in the left and center lanes. And southbound Veterans Expressway, it's jammed from Gun Highway to 275 as well. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson, Udrich, Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Stand Up to Cancer.
I'm Tony Goldwyn. 20 years ago, when my mom had lung cancer, she didn't have many choices. But today, you do. If you've been diagnosed with lung cancer, please visit standuptocancer.org/lungcancer to learn more.
Winds Weather Center forecast. Sunshine today. High temperature in the upper 70s, low 80s. Tonight's low mid-60s. Next couple of days, same forecast. We'll see rain on Friday. Small chance 20%, 40% chance through the upcoming weekend. Cooler Sunday, though, low 70s. Impact Radio 1250 Winds.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Winds WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
And welcome back to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Currently talking to Shawn Yesner, attorney at law and owner of his firm, Yesner Law. And be sure to visit YesnerLaw.com for more information. Now, Shawn, you also work on the defense side, and you recently saved somebody $190,000 in liability. And you hear this thrown around a lot where people say, oh, I can get my mortgage dismissed or I can get it dismissed. And I mean, you actually did it in this case. So how did this come about?
This actually was a short sale situation. So it was a property down in South St. Pete, one of the probably rougher areas of South St. Pete. And it was a friend of mine who was a real estate investor, or at least thought he was a real estate investor. One of these people that jumped on the investing bandwagon in 2009, 10, 11, right at the
He doesn't release motivational videos on Facebook all day long.
He does not. No, he does not release motivational videos on Facebook. He does some work with Facebook, but that's for his main business. But no, so he had bought this house, been suckered in by some other more experienced investors, and the market crashed, and he couldn't get tenants in it. It had basically become a really bad house, a stereotypical house for that area. And luckily for us, Florida law allows the bank to pursue the foreclosure on the mortgage and or pursue the debt on the promissory note. But a lot of people don't know the banks don't necessarily have to do both, and they don't necessarily have to do both simultaneously. So in this case, the bank got a foreclosure, but never proceeded to sale because, and you probably experienced this too, the bank took a look at the house and said, that's really not a house we want back. Mm-hmm. It's in such bad shape, we don't want it back. Well, then the bank sold the house, sold the promissory note, then sold it again, then that bank sold it again, then that bank sold it again. We've gotten maybe 6 or 7 banks deep in terms of selling off the promissory note. And so the bank that at the end of the line, the last bank that we dealt with, then filed a lawsuit on the promissory note itself. So they didn't care about the house anymore. They were just going after the money. Well, at that point, I say a lot of times when you're trying to settle a debt with the bank, it ain't poker. If you got your cards, show them. If you got the hand, if you can show the bank that you're not collectible, show the bank that, and the bank will make a business decision to leave you alone. And so we produced all the financial information. We showed the bank this person was really not someone worth pursuing, even if they got their judgment. I then pulled in an investor, a client of mine, friend of mine, who ended up making an offer on that house for $10,000, which the bank ended up accepting. The investor was only going to pay $9,000 of that. My client paid $1,000 of that. And the debt was just around $200,000, just over $200,000. So minus the $10,000 that the bank received, client walked away $190,000, no more debt.
Wow, but he didn't keep the home, though, right?
He did not keep the home.
Because you hear some situations where, based on what we were saying earlier, like robo-signing technicalities, you get a situation where the bank has no defense to your foreclosure, or I should say it the other way around, but can they actually be a situation where they can get to keep the home free and clear?
I know that there are some of those cases that exist. I do know that. I don't think that I have ever worked on one of those. I think one of the things in being on the bank side, one of the things in being on the plaintiff side of the equation, a lot of that, in my experience, has been urban myth in terms of keeping the house free and clear. Now, I can point you to some examples of where that's happened, but typically in cases where something like that happens, where the judge says, forget it, the note is gone, you own the house free and clear. A lot of times when that happens, it's because the bank has gone above and beyond in some type of bad behavior or bad act, or they've lost the promissory note with no hope of ever finding it, or maybe another bank has come in and tried to sue on the same promissory note. And I've got examples of the bank screwing up left, right, up, and down.
But that speaks to where they try to recreate the documents,
right,
and they're not allowed to do that, right?
There is a procedure under Florida law to reestablish a lost promissory note, but it's run by statute. So you prove the elements of the statute. The bank allows you under the Florida Uniform Commercial Code, the judge allows the bank to reestablish the terms of the promissory note. In a situation like the one I had, where the lender had sold off the note so many times, you had a combination of factors. Number one, the note was lost. Number two, the end bank at the end of the line, that 6th or 7th bank, whatever it was, had ended up paying so little for that note that at $10,000 they probably made a profit.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of borrowers make the mistake of saying, well, if the bank bought my loan at a discount, I should owe them less. And I think that's dangerous because the bank holds the note. So the borrower owes what's owed on the note. The fact that the bank paid less for it maybe gives us some negotiating power, but it doesn't necessarily mean from a legal perspective that they have to pay less. So a lot of those situations where people walk away with a free house, some of them may be urban myth, some of them may be short sale scenarios, some of them are probably true stories and accurate, but in my experience, I don't see it happening that often.
What are you seeing today in terms of foreclosure timeframes with the banks? In 2009 and 10, I mean, the banks were putting this off as, 1, 2, 3 years down the road. I mean, in a normal market, it's 2 to 3 months of missed payments. You're getting Liz pendants filed.
Right.
What are you seeing today?
Well, I know that Dodd-Frank put a lot of regulations in place. I think the bank has 4 months before they can file their foreclosure.
Okay, so they got to wait 4 months.
They got to wait 4 months. And in that 4 months, they've got to do some kind of loss mitigation, offer a loan mod, offer a short sale, offer a deed in lieu, do something. But then after 4 months, the foreclosure can be filed. Florida's still on a really long timeline, a year, year and a half, 2 years. We're still on a really long.
It's got to be. I got a neighbor that's been in their house.
I've seen people up to 5 years from time they missed payment, yeah.
Since I moved in there in 2009, they've been there.
Yeah.
And bankruptcies can add to that timeline. All that stuff factors in. It's interesting. The legislature in 2013, I believe, passed a speedy foreclosure bill. Not very many banks use it.
I was going to say, I thought that was going to have a big impact on the marketplace, but I've not really seen an impact from that.
Had virtually no impact.
Why is that? Why aren't they using it? Are they afraid of federal regulation?
Either that, or they may not want the houses back that quickly. I mean, from the REO side, the carrying costs, the cleanup costs, the resale costs, all that kind of stuff.
Is this why I'm seeing a lot of houses in neighborhoods just get knocked down? Like nobody just wants anything to do with them and they just demolish them?
Possibly. Plus, you've got situations where the grass gets overgrown. You've got situations where homeowner associations get involved. There are a lot of situations where the city or county will just come in and condemn the house because it's in such bad shape.
So what should a homeowner do when they receive a foreclosure notice on their door? I mean, a lot of people just choose to ignore it. Well, let's say their goal is just to ride this out as long as possible. Are they better off just ignoring this and ignoring all the calls, or contacting an attorney to get the longest time to stay in that home?
Well, of course, I'm going to say call an attorney.
Right.
Obviously, because that's how I avoid foreclosure on my house, is by bringing in those fees. So I would suggest, number one, call the bank. Talk to the bank. See what options the bank has. If they are really interested in staying there as long as possible, don't ignore it. If they ignore it, the bank will rush it through on a 6, 7, 8 month timeline. The bank will knock it out that quickly. Talk to an attorney. Talk to somebody that can slow it down. Talk to a realtor that has experience dealing with these types of properties. That's what I would suggest. The bank, the realtor, the attorney.
If it's a homestead and you file bankruptcy, does that give you protection against the foreclosure? How does that work?
The bankruptcy itself gives you temporary protection from the foreclosure because of the bankruptcy stay. So as soon as the bankruptcy is filed, everything stops everywhere. All collection efforts, all that stuff stops instantly when the bankruptcy is filed. From there, we got to get into, is it a Chapter 7, which is a liquidation? Is it a Chapter 13, which is a payment plan, a reorganization? Is it homestead property? What's their intention? Even if they file a bankruptcy just to wipe out all their debt, they file a Chapter 7 liquidation, that'll probably cause about a 90 to 120 day, 3 to 4 month delay in the foreclosure.
And didn't the bankruptcy laws get tighter over the last several years for people to do the full liquidation? Which one was that? Chapter
7?
Chapter 7 option?
There were income requirements put in place. So if a borrower makes above a certain income level, then they are ineligible to file Chapter 7. But a good bankruptcy attorney will know how to report the numbers accurately, but massage them if possible to fit within the Chapter 7 or Chapter 13 guidelines. And again, it depends. Someone who wants to keep their house and they're behind, Chapter 7 is not going to work. Only a Chapter 13 will allow someone to keep their house if they're behind. If they're current, Chapter 7, Chapter 13, either one would work. Just depends on the circumstances.
Now, what about deed in lieu of foreclosure? This is another option that homeowners have available. Explain, first of all, what a deed in lieu of foreclosure means.
A deed in lieu is voluntary repossession. So instead of allowing the bank to foreclose, the borrower is giving the house back to the bank in exchange for wiping out the debt. What a lot of people don't understand about a deed in lieu, the bank's not going to want to take the house back. Again, the carrying costs, the cleanup costs, the marketing costs. The bank's not going to want to take that house back until the homeowners try to sell it first. So in most cases, the bank's going to require that the house be listed for at least 90 days, and every bank's a little bit different, but on average, at least 90 days with no activity whatsoever, and listed at fair market value. So if you've got a house that's worth $100,000, you can't list it for $500,000 and say, see, I've got no activity. Mm-hmm. If it's worth $100,000, list it at $100,000. If it's got no activity after about 90 days, then the bank might consider taking it back in lieu of foreclosing on it.
Plus, a foreclosure also wipes out other debts, so that's an advantage for the bank versus accepting a deed in lieu of foreclosure. Am I not correct?
Right. In situations where there are inferior liens, so second mortgages, association liens, tax liens, those types of things, those are eliminated by the bank's foreclosure. If those things are present, the bank may not agree to a deed in lieu because then the bank, once it takes title to the house, would have to deal with getting rid of all those junior liens.
Interesting stuff. Got to take a quick break, but I got a lot more here with Shawn Yesner when we come back from the break. Again, talking with Shawn Yesner, attorney at law and owner of the law firm Yesner Law. Please visit yesnerlaw.com for more information. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Hi, my name is Jamie Maloney. I'm the host of That Business Show, a radio show that works with business professionals to get them on air. Starting April 25th, That Business Show is expanding to air 2 hours a day from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. and will work with a select group of business professionals to enhance their community exposure, branding, and credibility. That Business Show's branding package offers businesses and organizations a cost-effective package which includes regular on-air appearances, followed up with an edited video of the appearance and press release, along with daily audio and video commercials, social media management and development, monthly networking event, professional photography, and much more. Only a 3-month commitment is required, and you will have a lifetime of benefits, including a collection of videos that will not only save you time answering the same questions over and over again, but will also enhance the SEO of your website. In addition, you will become part of a network of professionals with the ability to request introductions to any of the guests that come through this program. I only have a limited number of packages available to sell, so act now. Call me today at 813-760-8516 or email me, jamie@tampabayradio.com, to get on board today. Again, that's 813-760-8516 or jamie@tampabayradio.com. Tampa Bay weather is a roof killer. That's why when getting your roof done, you want it done right. Hi, I'm Jamie Maloney of That Business Show. When considering a new roof or repair, talk to Westfall Roofing. They've been installing high-quality roofs in Tampa Bay for over 25 years. Get a free, no-obligation estimate by calling 855-99-ROOFING. That's 855-99-ROOFING. Find out what already 15,000 satisfied customers already know. Call now, 855-99-ROOFING. In an age when the good and the better vie for attention, it is the best that stands out. The best of Tampa Bay from Proudly Florida is the love story for the city of Tampa, celebrating success, sharing achievements, a tribute to enterprise and community spirit. Let Proudly Florida showcase your business to your city, your nation, and the world. For more information, email info@proudlyflorida.com and be sure to visit proudlyflorida.com.
Have you ever tried to buy a home for your family only to find out that you don't qualify for a mortgage loan? You thought that after 20 years as a customer of your bank, they would help you when you needed it the most, right? Unfortunately, the banks of today are not the banks of our parents and grandparents, and our relationships with them just don't matter anymore. My name is Frank Cotto, and I'm the president of the Lincoln Lending Group. We all may need a bank, but we also need a Frank, and that's what I'm here to do for you today. Lincoln Lending Group will waive all of your lending fees, which include your mortgage, application fee, your underwriting fee, processing fees, and any bank points. Just call 813-MORTGAGE. You drop the E, and we'll drop the fee.
Teresa Turner is a certified public accountant and the founder of Tax Happens, a boutique-style CPA firm providing small businesses and individuals with hands-on, personalized tax and accounting services. Although we would love to tell you how happy their clients are, we would like you to see for yourself. Tax Happens has 21 Google reviews and a 4.8-star Google rating, 17 Yelp reviews, and a 5-star Yelp rating, 38 Facebook reviews, and a 4.9-star Facebook rating. What sets Tax Happens apart is number 1, upfront pricing, 2, clear deadlines, 3, personally available year-round, and number 4, a willingness to empower clients to do as much or as little as they desire. Visit taxhappens.com for more information.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com.
If you've been following That Business Show on Facebook and Twitter, you may have noticed the quality of some of our images. That's because one of our sponsors is pro photographer Rick Toseda, a member of the Professional Photographers of America. You can view his extensive work by going to his website at ricktoseda.com or call him for an appointment to chat about your photography needs at 813-641-4757. That's 813-641-4757. Rick Toseda Visuals. Call him for your next event or project.
From the RP Funding Traffic Network.
Crash on north on 275 in downtown Tampa, blocking the left and center lanes. That has traffic slow from before Dale Mabry. Skyway Bridge remains closed in both directions. That means we're seeing additional traffic on 275 through downtown Tampa, also on Gandy Boulevard and the Selman Expressway in both directions. I-75 also slow through Brandon. Southbound US 19 jammed through Tarpon Springs due to a crash approaching Tarpon Avenue. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson Udrich. Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Stand Up to Cancer.
I'm Tony Goldwyn. 20 years ago, when my mom had lung cancer, she didn't have many choices. But today, you do. If you've been diagnosed with lung cancer, please visit standuptocancer.org/lung cancer to learn more.
Today, patchy fog early, then a mix of sun and clouds, high 82. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 66. Tomorrow, fog early, high 81.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
Welcome back to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. We start each morning at 8 o'clock, but starting April 25th, we'll be starting each morning at 7 o'clock and moving to a 2-hour-a-day format. So if you've been listening to me for a while and have some interest in getting involved in the program, first off, guests are entitled to come into the show free of charge. So don't let that stop you. I'm always looking for content for the program, but I'm also looking for new show partners. Have a few different sponsorship packages available for regular on-air appearances and social media management and several other things as well. So you can take a look at those options over there on TampaBayRadio.com. Just click on the Join Now button across the menu bar. Again, TampaBayRadio.com, or give me a call, 813-760-8516, 813-760-8516, and we can discuss it, or just send me a message through my contact form over at TampaBayRadio.com. Also, our other guest today, John Goodman, the Soulful CEO, is supposed to be in studio with us today. He was sick and unable to make it, so we'll get him scheduled up on a coming up program. But again, John Goodman unable to be with us today. We wish him well. Currently talking to Shawn Yesner, attorney and owner of the law firm Yesner Law. Learn more about him, YesnerLaw.com. And Shawn, one of the things that borrowers need to be aware of is the Mortgage Debt Relief Act and how that affects their tax liability. Let's talk a little bit about this.
Yeah, so in the height of the crisis, I think Congress realized that too many people were being taxed on their deficiency. So the way that I describe it, someone does a short sale of their house and they have a $50,000 deficiency. So they owe $200,000, but they only sell the house for $150,000. Creates a $50,000 deficiency. The IRS then comes in and says, well, if the bank doesn't want that $50,000 back, then borrower, you received a benefit. And anytime someone receives a benefit, Uncle Sam wants his cut. So they get taxed on that forgiveness of debt, that phantom income. Well, Congress realized that this was a problem, so they passed a law called the Mortgage Debt Relief Act. What the Mortgage Debt Relief Act says, basically, is that if someone does a short sale or has a foreclosure against their primary residence, their homestead property, and the loan was the loan that was used to buy or make improvements to the house. So it couldn't have been a cash-out refi. It couldn't have been a home equity line of credit used to take a vacation, whatever. If they had put a new roof on, put a new pool in, done something like that. If those two conditions, and there's two other conditions that pretty much everybody meets, but if those two conditions are present, then that forgiveness of debt income is not taxed. So I'll tell people, you'll get the 1099, and then you file, it's called Form 982. Every tax preparer should know that that form exists. The tax preparer files Form 982, so you show the IRS the 1099 that shows you got the income. You show them the Form 982 that says you don't owe tax on that income. That law expired on December 31 of 2013. Congress saw that it was going to expire. They extended it through all of 2014. 2014 was coming to an end. The last 2 weeks of 2014, they extended it for all of 2014. And so I joked we had a law that was good for 2 weeks.
Right.
Although it was retroactive back to January 1, so it was fine. Then again, at the end of 2015, we were facing the same dilemma. What about all these short sales in 2015? Well, again, in the last week or two of 2015, Congress extended it again. But this time they extended it through the end of 2016. So what that means is any short sale in 2009, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and now 2016 that results in a waiver of deficiency where the bank issues forgiveness of debt income, 1099, that income is not taxable if the property's homestead and the loan was used to buy or improve the house. So it's a big tax savings. In essence, you got the government taxing people that didn't have the money to pay their mortgage.
Right.
So that's at least gone away, at least now through the end of 2016. Now, I guess into November, December 2016, we'll figure out what Congress wants to do.
What about years down the road, 10 years from now? Is there a chance that some of these banks could turn around and then sue homeowners and investors for the losses from back in the day?
That's a great question. The simple answer is no. So one of the other things that the 2013 law did here locally in Florida, it put a 1-year statute of limitations on foreclosure deficiencies. So 1 year after the foreclosure sale, 1 year after the deed in lieu, the bank is not allowed to pursue deficiency. They're barred by the statute of limitations. Interestingly, for short sales, I think it is still a 5-year statute of limitations. So your question, 10 years down the road, no. Under any standard, they'd be way beyond any statute of limitations. If someone did a short sale, I think there's an argument to be made that it could be a 1-year statute of limitations, probably 5 years. So, no. And the other interesting argument, and the states are actually split on this. I've been following this. The states are split. If the bank issues a 1099, some states say that is satisfaction of the debt. So if the bank has issued a 1099 saying we're waiving the deficiency, some states have held then you're waiving deficiency, bank. You're not allowed to chase after that money. The other states have said the 1099 is just a reporting tool. 1099 itself is not a satisfaction of the debt. So the bank theoretically in those states could issue a 1099 and then still pursue the deficiency within the applicable time period. Florida has not yet decided the issue.
So Florida's still up in the air on that.
Yeah.
Now, what about, we're speaking about, homeowners and homesteaded properties. Is this the same stuff for investors, though? I mean, are they under the same time frames as far as, recourse?
Yeah, the statute of limitations applies to any foreclosure, whether it be homestead property, whether it be investment property. The statute of limitations at 1 year period to sue, 5 year period to sue applies regardless. What does not apply is the Mortgage Debt Relief Act. So somebody who has an investment property that sells it for a loss, that does a short sale, that has forgiveness of debt income, the deficiency that's waived, they might still have to pay tax on it. Now, there's other ways to reduce the taxes, but I am not a tax attorney. So that I would refer to a CPA or a tax attorney.
You attorneys always got to put those disclosures out there. I am not an attorney, or I'm not a tax attorney, or that's not my specialty.
I know what I know, and that's it. I don't venture those other areas.
Real quick, got about a minute left. What's your outlook on the real estate market here in the region?
I think it's improving. I think it is getting better. Banks are getting better at processing short sales, at processing loan modifications, and prices are starting to go up again. I think the market is getting better. There's still, one of the things I always said, foreclosures aren't going away because divorces aren't going away, medical issues aren't going away. The things that cause foreclosures aren't going away. But I think overall the market's improving.
Yeah, you just need some more inventory out there in the marketplace.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a competitive environment out there.
Which is weird because, like I was saying, all these houses that get knocked down. I mean, why is there so much lack of inventory?
I don't know. Everybody wants the subdivision homes right now, and there's not enough of that inventory out there. That's a big part of it. But we can't open up that discussion point right now because we only got about 30 seconds left. So, Shawn, thank you so much for being in studio today. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And you can learn more about him, YesnerLaw.com. Also, thank you to Chris and Katie Kermitzos, the founders of the Tampa Bay Business Owners Organization, for supporting the show each and every Tuesday. You can learn more about them at tbbo.org. And be sure to visit tampabayradio.com. All shows available on demand. And feel free to get in touch with me through my contact form for any input or to get involved with the program using my contact form at tampabayradio.com. You've been listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.